Hey, welcome to this edition of Thrive. As always, I hope it finds you well and that life is good. You know, you get to my age, my stage of life, and you've generally heard it all. And because of life's experience, you're able to chuckle to yourself when you hear people talk, because you hear things and you realize that if only they understood, if only they'd experienced something more, if only they could see things from the other side, so to speak. And I say that because as I listen to people talk, as a pastor, I hear many people talk, I have many conversations, and one of the things that I've come to appreciate is that one of the biggest things that hold people back from being everything they could, one of the things that holds people back from stepping out in faith, from pushing forward and to risking everything, is the fear of failure. It's almost like we see failure as terminal, and so we play it safe. You know, we'll go so far, but no further. We'll push, but not too hard. We will give, but not too much, because what if we fall? What if there's nothing left? What if it all comes crashing down? And I get that, but I've come to appreciate that failure is not terminal. In fact, recently I was watching a documentary about some climbers in America. They were preparing to scale some of the most challenging peaks, and some of them, they had mapped out routes that had never been done before on some of these rock faces. And to an outsider like me, they looked like sheer cliffs going straight up, and yet they saw opportunity. And this documentary was just following them map that path out and prepare and go on this incredible adventure. But in the course of that, they said something which pricked my ears. And I learned as I leaned in and listened, because one of the things that they talked about was falling. And as I listened to them, I realized that they don't have a fear of falling. In fact, they see falling as inevitable. Falling is not something that may happen. Falling will happen. And as a consequence, it shapes the way they approach things. It means they're realistic. It means that they prepare accordingly. But as a consequence of recognizing that at some point falling is going to happen, the fear is gone. It holds no power over them. They know that there's a possibility that this will happen, and they've prepared accordingly so that it's not terminal and they can get back up. And I say that because I think that you and I could learn from that. I think we go through life thinking that to fall is terminal. To fall is really bad, and we equate falling with failure, which is crazy when you think about it, because that's not how we learn in life, is it? You know, think back to when you were young and you first learnt to ride a bike. You know, the chances are that the way you learnt was someone was standing behind you holding the seat, and you were on there pedaling as fast as you could, and at some point they let go and you were doing it for yourself, and suddenly, you know, you became overwhelmed as you looked at your feet going around, and you thought, I can't do this, and you fell. And as you fell, you didn't lie there on the ground looking up thinking, well, not trying that again. You know, this is it. I've fallen, it's over. You know, you didn't do that, did you? You just lay there and thought, well, I'm going to get back on. I'm going to give it another go. And we need that attitude in the whole of life. You see, no one ever drowned from falling in the water. They only drowned from staying there. I like what Ecclesiastes says. Two are better than one, because when one falls, someone else is there to pick them up. Trust me, you're going to fall in life. At some point, something's going to happen in some sphere that's going to cause you to stumble. The question is, do you have someone there to pick you up? Because if you do, it's not going to be terminal. If you do, it's not going to be the end for you. You're going to recognize, okay, this has happened. This is what I need to do to get back on that horse and to keep going. I'm not going to let what's happened stop me from achieving what I set out to achieve. I'm not going to let that fall be the end. I'm not going to say, therefore, in the light of that, it's all over. You see it for what it is, you learn from it, and you keep going until you break through and you're standing in that place you set out to stand, whatever it might be. And so I just want to encourage you, because in my life, as I look back, my experience has been that the more we live out of our relationship with God and our relationship with others, the less the fear of failure has power on us. Because we recognize that it's going to happen, but God is still God. He is there. It doesn't change his view on us. You've got people around you who can pick you up, who can speak into your life, can help you get perspective, help you learn from it so that you can keep going. Just like the climbers, who are tied to one another so that falling isn't terminal. We need to tie ourselves to one another so that we don't give in to the temptation to play it safe, but we keep pushing forward. We keep living on the edge for God. We keep seeking to be everything that we can be and not seeing obstacles as the end, but seeing them as a challenge, as something to be scaled, as something to be overcome, so that we come to that place that God's prepared for us, so that we can stand in our spheres of influence and make a difference wherever He's called us. So let me leave you with that thought that maybe it's time for you to start climbing. Maybe you need to start risking. Maybe you need to stop playing it safe and recognize that falling is not terminal, that you need to overcome the fear of falling by looking to God, trusting others, and recognizing that good preparation, good friends, makes it possible to overcome whatever comes your way in life so that you can be all that God's called you to be, that you can thrive, and that you can stand one day looking back over your life with a sense of achievement rather than a sense of regret. So that's my encouragement. I hope it's helpful. As always, God bless. I'll catch you.